Hi guys, so it looks like the British government are threatening to break international law once again when it comes to Northern Ireland. So what is this about? It's in relation to grace periods. Now these grace periods are periods of time where the European Union have said to Great Britain, to the UK government, we're going to allow certain goods to move from Great Britain into Northern Ireland in a sense unfettered. Now other goods have to be checked. And because these goods are being checked, it's creating disruption in Northern Ireland. Supermarkets are not able to get access to the goods that they want. And even cases of people sending packages from Great Britain to Northern Ireland are seeing their packages opened and checked. And this is also creating delays. So what's happening is businesses in Northern Ireland are putting pressure on the DUP, who you're going to hear from Jeffrey Donaldson of the DUP. And the DUP are putting pressure on Brandon Lewis, the Northern Ireland Secretary, and Boris Johnson's government to do something about it. Now, it seems what the British government are going to do now is unilaterally extend these grace periods, not actually consult the European Union first, but just unilaterally do this, and in a sense break international law, because it was an agreement that they signed in regard to these grace periods. And you have to remember that the grace periods were something that the European Union gave as a help to the UK. These grace periods allow businesses to adapt to the changes as a result of Brexit. This is because of Brexit, we have to remember. This is not about the protocol, what the DUP want to throw away. This is the consequence of Brexit. So let's hear what Jeffrey Donaldson had to say about these grace periods and what Brandon Lewis, the Northern Ireland Secretary, said in return.
As we approach the end of the 3-month grace period under the Northern Ireland Protocol, many businesses and individuals in Northern Ireland are very concerned about what this will mean for them, and in particular their ability to order goods and receive parcels from suppliers in Great Britain. Without further disruption to this trade, what is the Secretary of State and the Government going to do to address these concerns?
Secretary of State.
Oh, well, the right honourable gentleman makes a very good point, and as has been the case since January, our focus will remain on supporting the effective flow of goods between Northern Ireland and Great Britain and avoiding any unacceptable disruption to the critical flow of goods on which lives and livelihoods rely. It is important, I absolutely agree, it is important that businesses and citizens across Northern Ireland do not see their lives or their livelihoods unacceptably disrupted as they adapt to new requirements. So I can advise the right honourable gentleman that further guidance will be provided later this week on parcel movements from Great Britain to Northern Ireland.
Okay, so Brandon Lewis later went on to say that in this exchange with Jeffrey Donaldson that he is going to speak with the European Commission about this to sort it out. Well, it seems that some hours later, Brandon Lewis did speak to the Vice President of the European Commission, Mr. Šefčovič, and he threatened to break international law. I wanted to read this tweet from Tony Connolly from RTE News. It says here, the UK will unilaterally extend the grace periods for food imports into Northern Ireland from Great Britain by 6 months, RTE News understands. The move is outlined in written guidance to supermarkets and suppliers seen by RTE News. So this was a case of the UK government not actually consulting the European Union about this and extending these grace periods. It seems that they're going to extend these grace periods. Now, the European Commission were not too happy about this, so they actually sent a statement. This is a statement from Vice President Maroš Šefčovič. It says here, following the UK statement today, Vice President Šefčovič has expressed the EU's strong concerns over the UK's unilateral action, as this amounts to a violation of the relevant substance provisions of the Protocol on Ireland, Northern Ireland, and the good faith obligation under the Withdrawal Agreement. This is the second time that the UK government is set to breach international law. So he's not too happy about that, as you can imagine. I just want to read another part. It says here, Vice President Šefčovič has reiterated that the Protocol on Ireland, Northern Ireland is the only way to protect the Good Friday Agreement, the Belfast Agreement, in all its dimensions, and to avoid a hard border on the island of Ireland. Throughout last year, we worked tirelessly to find practical, workable solutions based on the protocol to minimize disruption caused by Brexit and to help facilitate the everyday life of communities in Northern Ireland. The Joint Committee formally endorsed these solutions on the 17th of December 2020 in order to help businesses adapt to the new reality. So he's saying basically here is that both the EU and the UK signed up to this. The UK is now deciding to extend these grace periods without consulting the European Union. Now, why are the UK doing this? Why is Boris Johnson's government doing this? Well, they're under pressure from the DUP. This is one aspect of it. Another aspect of it, of course, is that when these grace periods end, this is going to make Brexit look bad. And you have to remember that the Brexiteers within Boris Johnson's government are doing everything they can to protect Brexit. The vaccine rollout is going pretty well, but Brexit is simmering away in the background. As soon as the good news, is over for the vaccine, everyone has their vaccine, everything is returning to normal, we're going to be hit by Brexit once again. And this is an attempt, I think, to kick the can down the road. And probably in a 6 months' time, the idea within the British government would be probably kick the can down the road another 6 months. But the European Union are not allowing this. The European Union have given these grace periods in good faith. The UK government are abusing that good faith, that privilege, that generosity in a sense. It was set up to allow businesses to adapt to Brexit. Remember, none of this was actually necessary if the UK had extended the transition period. All of this work could have been done preparing businesses for Brexit, making sure everything was in place, creating the infrastructure necessary. All of this could have been done during the Brexit transition period. But Boris Johnson, of course, forced his government, by using parliamentary power, to stop government having the ability to extend the transition period. And now we're in this mess. The DUP are under pressure and they're offloading the pressure onto someone else, and that being the government. It's concerning because the DUP want to scrap the protocol. The British government, in a sense, don't want to scrap the protocol because it would mean breaking international law. They've threatened to do it before and they've pulled back at the last minute. Now, this could be once again being used as a bargaining chip in some way. Perhaps they're hoping if by unilaterally extending the grace periods, it would mean that maybe the European Union would say, okay, we'll extend them anyway, just to keep the peace. But by extending these grace periods, this is going to create conflict in other areas in the EU. I think the British government are playing with fire here on two fronts. They're pissing off the European Union and they're putting Northern Ireland in a very dangerous position. I hope that they will step back from the breach like they did before, but this government is extremely unpredictable. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot. I want to say a big thank you to all of my patrons. You ensure that this channel continues to exist. I'm eternally grateful for all of your support. If you join Patreon, you will receive instant access to our Discord server, where we have both audio and video chats. You can chat with me and other patrons, where we discuss important and non-important issues. Becoming a patron per month costs about the same as a large coffee, so why not check it out?